Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Well, that's grande.
I've had 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's too late. It's already.
I know, but our listeners and viewers know that there's a countdown.
Like we have any listeners or viewers. Come on, be real.
I think both of them are listening and viewing.
Both of them are listening. Yeah, we have at least 3. Give me a break. All right, I really want to. You're having a cocktail. I haven't even made mine yet. Can I make mine?
Do it.
All right. So I got my cup of ice.
As long as you show us.
Yeah, I am. My cup of. Well, I'm not going to show everything, but you'll hear me. I'll show what I have. So a cup of ice.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with.
You're overmodulating just a little there, Spanky. I'm not sure if that's coming.
That's you. It's all you.
Not. Never
no,
really
it's not coming. Is that better? Is that seriously?
Yeah. You're wonderful.
Okay. Well, 2 ounces. I've already pre-measured, folks. 2 ounces of rye whiskey.
Gosh, that looks like 2.2 ounces from here.
It is.
Who am I to count? I knew it.
It isn't actually rye. This is just bourbon, but it's got a rye flavor. So
can you tell us what the make is?
I could if I had the bottle up here.
Oh, you can't say it otherwise. Is it in
I
German?
just don't remember it. Yeah, not because I can't. I just
no.
And I'm sure your dinger is not ready for that.
Yeah, it is.
Right, so I've got a half an ounce instead of 3/4 of an ounce or a whole ounce, a half an ounce of sweet vermouth.
Sweet vermouth. Okay, so it's
kind
of Manhattan.
Cheapo sweet vermouth. It is a Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I actually have to have both my hands for this because I have pre-made some hot honey.
I have to have both my hands for this.
Well, you'll see why in a second. Because I've got my...
good. Could you clear that up?
Honey.
I'm imagining.
I've got a little ladle here, so I can put my hot honey in the... So, got my 1/4 of an ounce of hot honey.
A scraper you have. I wish you should follow it with your camera because we can't see you.
I know.
We don't know what you're doing off camera, but I have some ideas.
I'm not that technologically advanced in this.
Yes, you are. You need a B shot.
I do need a B shot. All right. Got to test my hot honey.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to leave that alone. Is Jen at home? Just saying.
No, she's at work.
Oh, okay. So
it's nighttime. It's work time.
Hot honey. Got it.
2 shots of bitters.
Oh.
2 splashes or 2. Yeah. 1, 2.
I thought it was like ivermectin or something.
Oh, maybe. And then we stir. We stir.
Oh, okay. Yep. Excellent.
Get it nice and cold.
Stopped using pencils for stirring because I think lead poisoning was waiting to happen.
Yeah, I miss it. It's like a very unnatural high.
Well, it is unnatural. I'll grant you that.
And then we pour. Oh, my honey is not doing very well though.
She's working.
That's true. That is true. I'm gonna hum.
I'm so glad
it's spicy. Get my little
a nice
spoon.
Podcast and not a naughty one because I have naughtiness running through my mind.
I bet you do.
About now, yeah. Most of it centers around hot honey, but we'll come back to that.
And there it is. My hot honey.
Oh, I
got the right color.
I have the same martini glass.
Do you really?
I absolutely do.
I got these for something. It was either my birthday or Christmas.
They're very nice ones. I can't think of the name. Are they?
Well, I don't remember the name. But I got them because I have wanted coupes for a long time.
Coupes?
But Jen doesn't like a coupe. So
I'm not sure what a coupe is.
A coupe is I call it the original martini glass. You see a lot of people drinking champagne out of a coupe. So it's got this this shape instead of the flute here.
Got it.
This was our compromise.
Yeah,
was a martini glass that looks like a coupe.
Most people now it does. It's beautiful, and I'll be angry. Lisa will know what kind it is. We have 2 of them, or had 2. Broke 1. We have 1 left.
Nice. Yeah, I have 4 of these.
My math is terrific.
Luckily.
Okay,
but that's usually how we roll. Is at least one of them is broken.
Cheers. Dink.
I have a glass like that. I have that exact same glass too.
It's a hammered glass. It looks like. Which, if you drink enough of them,
that's good. There's nothing wrong with a hammered glass.
Those are terrific martini glasses. And we were just talking about this earlier, that we have broken more fine drinking glasses than I would care to admit.
That's why you and I are friends. Because I have we call it, we've mentioned this on the podcast before, we call it pulling a cubic or cubicking it, because that's one of the things that I collect. I collect fine glassware. I don't have a ton of it, but I like really nice glasses that have a specific use. And we'll have some really nice stuff for a little while, but it always ends up breaking because I'm just that clumsy.
Well, or maybe they just need to move on.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the case. But no
one else can have them.
We have talked about this, that the wine glasses we had were the Riedels, I think they're called. And they were thin.
Yep.
But that's they say, well, that's on purpose, because then your hand will modulate the temperature of the wine. And
right.
Come on. Well, you try to wash them, and I'm just being so careful. And I know I'm a little clumsy.
Yeah, especially when you have stone counters and stone sinks and all of that, the higher end stuff you have, the harder it is and the easier. Yeah, we had 4 of those we had 8 of those wine glasses before. Now we have 4.
Yeah, us too, and we have 0, maybe 1. At least I think we have 1 left. But so we're much more likely, honestly, go to Costco. We've gotten the nice, a set of 8 of them, and I think we still have 4 of them left because we break those too. But they at least they last longer than the expensive ones. So
exactly,
the Riedels were, I want to say, $100 for 6, and 2 of them were free. So they're $25 a throw.
Yeah, you just don't want to throw them.
Well, honestly, if we had a fireplace, it's Florida though, so we just throw them in the pool, and that's a bigger problem.
Yeah, I'd say.
So there's that.
Oh my goodness.
Well, so happy Friday. Happy
Friday.
Cocktailing on Happy Hour Friday with the PoddiMouths. We are delighted to be here with you guys. I had a couple of things I wanted to touch on if I could, because anything TikTok, I instantly think of you, because I am not a TikTok guy.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or as a compliment,
because you try to expand my horizons, and you've been a TikTok guy for. I remember one time we were talking, and you said, I've been on TikTok for like 2 hours just watching one stupid video after another one. And you can do that. Same with YouTube, so especially shorts, YouTube shorts, it's a similar thing. But I, for some reason, clicked into TikTok yesterday, and I thought, you know what? I haven't been on. I'll just check out, because some of the videos are fun. And hey, selected for you. And I'm going, they know nothing about me. And so I clicked on it, and it pulled up this video that I thought I was going to pee my pants laughing. It was obviously they knew me, because it was a huge dude, a black guy who's probably 350, I would guess, maybe 400 pounds. And he goes around doing trust falls when people aren't expecting it. And it's the funniest stuff I have ever seen. And it gets better, because he's done it apparently for some time now, but you watch him just walk up to people and just do a trust fall, and they're like, holy crap, because he's massive. And what's better is, now that people recognize him, or some do, they just will run away as he approaches them. And some guy's diving into his car window.
That's great.
Oh, it's hilarious. And it's just such a funny concept. And it just totally made me laugh. Yeah. So check that out if I'm sure you can find it. It's
I try to avoid TikTok because of that as much as possible. So I'll actually limit my TikTok time to the time after I say to Peyton, time for bed, and the time she actually hits the bed, which, it's roughly anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. And that's my TikTok time. Funny. I get so sucked in though to Instagram. I think my wife is the same way. I'm the same way. Peyton doesn't have any social media that I know of. So hopefully she's not the same way. But the algorithms are interesting, and I know I should have a podcast because I'm going to open myself up for ridicule for what I'm about to say, and most people won't believe me. But I swear this is true. So I look in Instagram, and by the way, I just sent you an Instagram because that's what I was doing while I was waiting for you to hop on.
Sorry.
But on Instagram, they have the Discover section. So, right, I've got it up here. It's the Discover section, which is not the people you follow, just content that you might be interested in.
That they
assume based on your scrolling and stuff like that. So let's see, what do I like? John, and you, John, I know you know this because one of them is what I just sent you. It was the house in Hawaii that was 165 or 265,000.
Why are we not just buying this as the PoddiMouths pod?
It's because it's one bedroom. I love you, but I'm not going to cuddle up next to you.
For that kind of money, it seems like the least you could do would adopt a gay
lifestyle. Well, I would
lifestyle.
take the Geodome. There are 2 places on the property. They have an Airbnb on there. So
that bedroom is just perfect for me.
It's so cheap for Hawaii, though. So I'm wondering if it's like if they know that the volcano is coming at them or something.
Nice toilet.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Is that the living room?
Probably.
We decided to have people over.
I don't think that's a problem. I mean, that's where I spend most of my time anyways, especially when I'm on Instagram.
Oh, there's
so anyway, so I look at houses, airplanes, military airplanes, and Jeeps. And sometimes, throw in a good old Mercedes SL somewhere in there, maybe a few Porsches. That's what I tend to look at and hiking stuff. So, I mean, if I'm looking at just boom, 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 that's pretty much all I open and scroll through. And that's what I send Jen and stuff like that.
Sure.
Then once in a while, I'll get like I just sent our buddy Matt at one with, it was really funny. It shows, it's a clip from a movie, and it's 2 girls in bikinis next to like a girl who's much, much shorter, wearing a swimming cap, a long sleeve shirt, and like old timey swimming suit, and and then above it says Michigan, Wisconsin, and then that short one is Ohio. So Matt lives in Ohio, so I just thought it was really, really funny. Nice. So I just sent that. But then, because of the girls in the bikini, all I get in my feed are girls in bikinis.
You poor thing.
But the funny thing is, that's not the majority of what I look at.
Well, it hasn't been to this point.
No, but that will.
It's only because the algorithm didn't help you.
No, it didn't. So I'll it's little stupid shit like that where all of a sudden now everything is bikinis. I mean, I'm not saying I mind, but that's not what I normally look at.
You were a little late for the podcast today. I'm guessing that's what you were doing.
Excuse me, I wasn't the one that was late. I was sitting here literally with the video on and the microphone and headphones on, and I was scrolling through Instagram.
You've Instagram bikinis.
Instagram bikinis. Well, of course, I just saw it, and I just sent it to Matt.
That's awesome.
Matt, by the way, you have something in your Instagram.
Yeah, you're going to want to check that out, Matt. Your wife is going to be happy about that. And sorry about the Ohio girls wearing the old timey bathing suits.
I'll see if I can pull it up while you continue with your story. Because I'm sure it's
Oh yeah.
Was your story done?
Amazing. I think it was. The big guy stuff was hilarious, and I tried to find the original one that I watched and couldn't because I'm illiterate in TikTok. Kind of happy about that.
Yeah, but, there you go. Yeah. There it is.
Michigan, Wisconsin. Why is the Wisconsin girl so short? Anyway,
because she's Asian.
She is Asian.
Actually, and I know that actress. She's not really that short.
Okay, maybe it's the one next to her is just tall.
She is.
Okay, she's fine. She was actually their first choice for
probably. I think it was.
Bride
I actually think it was Kirsten Dunst.
Oh,
the tall one.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Ow! She is not Michigan. I doubt that very much.
No.
Some good news.
Okay, I'm ready.
Finally, was able to get an MRI on my shoulder.
Finally, it's almost like you live in Canada.
2 months.
That's crazy.
I
imagine if you did live in Canada.
Yeah, I'm not sure they need to get an approval. Yeah, I was waiting on an approval from the stupid insurance company. It would be 6 to
8 months, maybe even a year before you get to have an MRI up there.
In line. Yeah, you may be right. But it was ridiculous because they said, we want you to do an x-ray first. Well, if let's just say hypothetically that I have a torn rotator cuff, it will not show up on an x-ray.
Right.
And so they wanted the x-ray first, which we did. And then they wanted me to start PT for 8 weeks before they agreed to do an MRI. And I threw down and was mad and sent the thing to the insurance company, and they approved it. They took my appeal and approved it. So I had it done. And I have a complete tear of my right shoulder rotator.
Oh, and you're saying this is good news?
It's good news because I actually got in and found out what it was. So I'm going to the gym, and there are a limited number of things I can do. That
me too.
I still yes. Yes. No, they don't serve drinks anymore, Nick. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Wrong gym.
I
was thinking of Jim, J-I-M, apostrophe S.
Yes, I'm sure you were Jim's Bar. Yeah. I'm at the office, honey. It's the bar named The Office. So anyway, had it done, and that's fine. So that's the challenging news. They're going to recommend surgery probably. But tried to get in to see this orthopedic surgeon, and the soonest I can get in is July 31st.
That's not too bad.
Well, I guess, horrible. But it's been 2 months, over 2 months since I injured it. So it's going to be 3 or 4 months before he says, yeah, you need surgery.
Well, here's what you do. Do something that's a little bit more serious that you need to get into really quick. Yeah. And you'll be good.
Hey, while you're there.
Strangely enough, when I had my hernia surgeries, surgery, not just one, but I had 3 hernias.
Yeah.
That's why it went really fast. Like the doctor said, you need surgery. And I'm like, okay, I'll set you up at the hospital. Okay. And then you go in the next week for a consult. And then the next week I was in for my surgery. And I was like, holy crap.
That's good.
I wasn't ready that fast.
Yeah.
Well, process it all.
Understood. But obviously when there's stuff that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Get that done quickly.
They think you need it done quickly, but I had those hernias for years.
Yes, but there was something that puts you to that next level that you're like, okay, well, we need to have this looked at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was it hurt.
Yeah, there's yes, I ran out of bourbon, so we're going to need to get this fixed.
You know what it was? I worked really hard on losing weight, and I had lost like 30 or 40 pounds.
Wow.
And that's when it started hurting.
It's a lot for you.
It was right what I needed, though.
Holy cats. Well,
it was 30 pounds. It was 30 pounds.
Plus, but yes, which I'll begin working on.
Which I gained back immediately afterwards.
That's the part that I can lose it. I absolutely can. I can I'd start with a fast, and then I can just go really slowly, and I can lose the weight.
Yeah.
But keeping it off is a whole different ball game.
Christmas is a bitch.
Well, I think Jesus would not like that. But, well, it is. It's any time where you have that capacity to eat more. And that's me. And then plus when you've been behaving, and then suddenly you go, oh, I could sure use some shrimp and grits, and
that just starts it right down.
Shrimp and grits, and I'm like, well, I might as well have cookies because she made some cookies.
Exactly. And I've already eaten this much. I might as well just eat more and then worry about it tomorrow.
And then tomorrow I'll take a bunch of laxatives.
Right.
And no, not doing that.
Now I want the algorithm because I think I told you before I used the AI to come up with the names for our podcast.
Yeah.
So I really want the AI to pick up on laxative. Laxative.
Can I just say this right now?
Laxative?
I'm pretty sure that it already comes up in your feed.
What, laxatives?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I know.
I don't think they're on Instagram.
They
really need
3 weeks.
To. 3 weeks. But the little blue pills do come up quite often.
Oh, do they?
No, not in my feed, but
not in my feed.
Is that why you got off Instagram?
Way to say this really in a manly way. Not in my feed, they don't.
Oh my goodness. I have heart problems, guys. Heart problems.
That's what it is. Sure. That's what it is.
Oh my goodness.
I keep getting nitroglycerin stuff fed to me.
Do you really? Oh,
No, I'm just
that makes
kidding.
sense.
That would be a hard thing. Yeah.
I know. I was kidding. Woo!
Yeehaw! So yes, anyway,
Yeehaw.
I'm guessing I'm going to have to. So the weird part about this shoulder is I can sustain. It's not a huge deal. I can't lift heavy. Clearly, I can't. Overhead strength is not good. And
Head strength, not good at all
overhead
either.
strength. Oh, I'm headstrong. You know that. So I'm just. The question becomes, what am I going to be able to do if they repair it that I can't do now?
Mm-hmm.
And is it worth being down for? And I've heard it varies for people, 6 months to a year.
So it's interesting, and I'm going to go to the other side or the other end of the body because
wow. Okay.
So we've talked about on the podcast before. I have a toe that I broke a long time ago, and now it doesn't flex. So let's pretend you have two toes, right? Or this is my main toe, right?
Let's say this is your feet. Your big
your
toe.
feet. So
is that
my
your big toe?
Big toe can go like that, right?
Okay. This little piggy goes to
foot,
market.
Yeah, my other foot goes about there. My other big toe. So that's about as far as I can extend it.
All right.
Up. So even when I walk, it hurts because sometimes if I walk too much, because you walk and you push and it just won't.
You only do 20,000 steps a day, you pussy.
I try to, but no, it doesn't happen that way. But what the doctor said, the last doctor I went, is the joint is like this, and the bone is pushing further into the joint, so it won't slide all the way up. So what they have to do is go, and I'm using my arm, folks, for those who aren't watching.
Yeah. Thank you for not using your foot.
My arm as
we're very grateful.
Yeah, as my foot bone. So what the doctor would have to do is go in, cut the bone at an angle, and slide the front one back, and then shave off the top and join them back together.
Wow.
Just so I can get mobility back in that toe.
You know what?
At least that's what the doctor said.
That might replace happy hour. That would be kind of an exciting.
Well, so
I'd still drink, but I know.
So I have a friend whose mother, who is also one of our friends, who had a very similar surgery. And the minute I told her that was the option, and she's also a nurse, she said, "Don't do it. Don't do it, because I had it and it didn't fix anything. And it was a horrible recovery. You can't move. Plus, it's my right foot, and I drive a lot. So I wouldn't be able to drive.
You won't be able to do place kicking anymore.
Won't be able to do place kicking. My football career is over.
Toast.
I can't go to conservative Catholic universities and make speeches. Any of that. It's horrible."
Right.
Had to kick that one in there.
Not sure where that went, but that's okay. That's perfect. That would be.
You know exactly where that went.
I know. It was the Casey guy.
Everyone listening knows exactly where that went.
They do not. They're just like, what the hell is he talking about?
It's okay. Well, maybe TJ, because he's an Australian. I don't know how much American football gets down to
he's watching
Australia.
footy. He's watching footy.
He's watching different types of football.
He is.
He's watching real man sports.
And footy. I enjoyed footy when I was in Australia for 3 weeks.
I don't even know what footy is.
Well, it's indoor soccer, sort of.
Okay.
And they, as I recall, anyway, it's been a few years, but they call it footy. And so it was kind of cool to see it. You're going to ask me stuff, and I won't know.
No. I was going to say it. So it's kind of like the American version, which is indoor football, which I didn't know that Nashville actually has an indoor football league.
Yep. What is it called? I don't even know.
I was invited to a game and I couldn't go because we had some other stuff going on. But the tickets were only like $7 a piece.
That's, big money. And I love stuff like that because you usually have people who try really hard, and it harkens back to when Michael was in college, and he was not on the football team, but he was in the marching band.
Yep.
And it was awesome because it's a D3 university where he went to college, and I've mentioned this before, the football team at his school was national champion for like 4 out of 5 years. They were incredibly good. And so, but it's $5 to park, and it's $8 to get in. And it's just an awesome stadium and a great atmosphere because people are so appreciative that they are such a good football team. And we'd go and say, we're just here to see the band. And so, but it was just great.
Just here
fun.
for the band.
Well,
just here for the band.
It was awesome because afterward, the fifth quarter, the band would play. And when they got done playing, we're all cheering, especially the parents are left behind. And we're all cheering, and they go, we'd say, thanks for playing. And they'd say, thanks for staying. And we'd laugh and leave. And nice. It was fun. It was just, it was good of them to play. They were a good band too, but to play for the 4-time national champion Warhawks.
Ooh.
University of Wisconsin Whitewater.
Warhawks. I looked at Whitewater. That was one of the schools. You kind of have to when you're a Minnesota, well, and a Wisconsinite, but when you're a Minnesotan, mm-hmm. you look at and forgive me, folks, if you live in other parts of the country that have this, but I don't know of any other place that actually has this. Basically all the states that touch Minnesota, and I guess Michigan too, have reciprocity.
Reciprocity, exactly.
Which means that if I were a Minnesotan, which I was, I could go to a Wisconsin school and pay in-state tuition because I was from Minnesota. Same with North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, all that stuff. So we had a bigger pool of colleges to choose from. So when you grow up there, my A number one, that was always, my mom had the plan, my stepdad, my dad all had the plan mm-hmm. that I was going to go to the University of Minnesota. It was mm-hmm. my choice not to. But even at that, you do tend to look at other schools. So Whitewater is one of them. Yep. I looked at Whitewater. I looked at La Crosse. I looked at Moorhead. North Dakota University mm-hmm. or North Dakota State University, stuff like that. So, and you also look at who the Bulldogs, the University of Minnesota Duluth, all those stuff. So, mm-hmm. You've got a lot of different choices. But
and honestly, there are some really good schools there.
There really are.
And there are many that specialize. And so Michael was a music guy, mm-hmm. and business, I think was his minor. And, but it was a great fit for him. And so when you think about that and you think about what some of these people are paying for college, oh my gosh,
trust me, I know.
Well, as you would, but you have a lot to show for it too. So
I do, but that's an interesting. Let's going down a different rabbit hole with that, because I think it's really interesting right now in today's society. When I was growing up, and I'm assuming when you were growing up, that was the mm-hmm. goal: go to college. I mean, there was no question in my household that I was going to college. Yeah. It wasn't. I mean, it was not. There was not an option. It was college or military, and I was being strongly pushed towards not going into the military. Mm-hmm. And if I did, I would go to one of the academies. So that was what was ingrained in me. It was not mm-hmm. just you can go to college if you want to. No, you're going to college. You just have to pick which one you're going to.
Well, and that's it. And I'm sorry to interrupt. That has been one of the problems, I think, in our society.
Yes, 100%.
But as parents, our parents and us, hey, my kid went to college too. Yeah. And so we were trained, as much as anything, our parents were trained that this is what's expected and it should be what's expected. And so, I'm not sure it's the right thing, but
let's be fair. Be fair. Back then, higher education was actually learning something. I would argue you might not learn as much in higher education now.
True.
That's whether that's a politically charged statement or not. That's what I believe. I do not think.
I don't disagree, but I would say that some of it had to do with companies requiring a certain level of education in order
which they do not anymore.
Well, because I think they're figuring out that they should probably be a meritocracy, and it doesn't have to do with, wow, someone was able to complete a 4-year degree without even looking with clarity at what they accomplished. I mean,
but that's a different thing too, because I did have I had a manager once that said, I'm going to choose someone with a 4-year degree. I don't care if it's in underwater basket weaving. I'm going to choose someone with a 4-year degree because they actually started something and they finished something. And
That's
that
great.
to me means a lot.
Is that your only indicator, though?
No, it shouldn't be. That was him. That was him.
Yeah, no, I get it, but he was not alone.
No. He was not alone. Not at all. So there's a lot to be said about that. However, again, today, with the way the society works, I don't think that's what people are doing in college, and I don't think that's what they're. When I went to college, both times, I was taught to think critically. I wasn't taught something specific. I was taught
to
think.
You picked the right schools then.
Well, I hope so. If I look at them now, they're not the right school. But
well, maybe not. And you're right. It's not the schools themselves, but it's how they've
progressed over the years.
Yes, progressed for sure.
Yeah. Yep. One of which has been in the news a lot lately. But back and I'm not going to say that honestly. I would not be where I am now if I hadn't gotten to my master's. That is what helped me get where I am. Sure. Period. End of sentence. Now. Yep. The interesting thing with my company, and it's not a complaint, but the interesting thing with my company is it doesn't require a degree. It requires experience. So I have people that have just as much experience as I do degrees in education that go to that get in at the same level, make the same amount of money. And that's fine with me. I am happy for that. But that's not, as you were saying, that's not exactly the way it used to be. And I like it now better the way it is in that respect.
Well, I think companies have improved in that regard because they've gotten some recognition that completing a degree is not necessarily the ultimate goal.
No, well, and I also know plenty of people that have degrees and advanced degrees that are idiots. Absolute morons.
You and me both.
Yep. And I know people that barely finished high school. Hell, some of the richest people in the world barely finished high school.
That's true. But again, it's not to say that some with advanced degrees aren't not brilliant, because many are.
Of course. So, and there's still plenty of areas in the workforce that require those degrees for a good reason. I'm not going to go to a doctor that's that barely graduated from high school.
And now you see some companies, though, that are saying we're going to use race, for example, or just DEI, and say this is how we hire airline pilots now. Really?
I don't know about you, but I'm looking for the safest, best pilot possible.
If you're not throwing the best pilot in the cockpit, he's like fourth best on the plane right now. That's I'm out.
I don't care what color, what creed, what religion, whatever you are. I want you to be the best person for the job in that particular position.
None of that matters.
None of it matters.
And this is the whole point about racism. It's not because we say, I don't want this orange person in the cockpit. I don't care.
It's huge.
If you can
it's huge.
It's huge. If you can get me off the ground, land safely, and home to my family, you are a success. Thank you.
Yep.
And that should not be a one-off. It should be every damn
come on,
time.
John, any landing you walk away from is a good landing.
It's a good landing. You're absolutely right. And
even if the wheels collapsed under the airplane and flames were coming out of the off the edges of the wings and the engines are gone, as long as you can walk away, it was a good landing.
And I can run away for that matter. I'm fine with that as well.
Just don't use your shoulder.
We have, it makes it tough to get stuff out of the overhead bin. I don't even care then. I'll buy new stuff. You and I have been on commercial flights that have been, holy crap.
Yeah.
But on all of those that have been rough like that and have been difficult, I'm really happy there's an ex-Air Force guy or an ex-Marines or Navy guy.
100%.
Or lady or whomever behind the wheel. I'm delighted with that. I don't care. And it's always funny because we've talked about this, but you get bumpy landings for whatever reason. And sometimes I always thought of like Phoenix because hot later in the day.
Oh, yeah.
You get thermals and oh my gosh, and you often get the bouncy landings. And I always made it a point when I get off the plane to thank them and ask, hey, awesome landing, or who did that? And I have got more than once. It's just a fun interaction. The captain before said, that was him. He's a Navy guy, if it's a bad landing. And it's just,
you don't get that as much anymore. You really
because
don't. They don't even.
engage
Sometimes they
that
don't
much.
even come out of the cockpit until the plane's empty.
And even if they don't, I still say thanks, guys, or nice flight or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you know what, honestly, and guys or ladies, and guys generically, again, I don't care if you're male or female. If you can take off and land the plane and we're safe and good, God bless you. I'm all in. So anyway,
Yep.
I'm. We are of the same mindset when it comes to that. Well, you know what? As long as he's a Native American, I'll fly on his plane. No,
Yeah, well,
he needs
okay,
to be
yeah.
the best pilot.
Have you seen? Oh shit! Now the name was in my head. Now it's gone. The one. It's a movie with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg is the pilot on the airplane, and it's a whole new airline. And Snoop Dogg has never actually flown a plane. He got his license in the simulator.
Yeah.
It's Soul Plane. That's what it's called. Soul Plane.
Oh,
if you haven't
my
seen Soul Plane,
gosh.
it's hilarious.
All
But it's
right.
a good. It's exactly what we're talking about. It's
Gotta write it down.
You got to. It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Concept.
Tom Arnold's in it too.
Oh well, then I'll be sure to watch it.
I know. No, it really is a great.
Kevin
film.
Hart is
he's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny, and he was great in
Jumanji,
Up in the Air.
No. I know which one you're talking about with Walter White guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, he was really good in that. It was
he was.
It was outside of his normal range, but yeah, he was really good. So
well, as actors and comedians age, you notice they take on some more serious roles, and they're just phenomenal.
And
Tom Hanks. When was the last time Tom Hanks was in a funny movie? Like really a movie that was purely comedy.
And that's where he got his start. If you the early
big
sitcom stuff.
Yeah, it was sitcoms. You go even back.
Oh my gosh.
What was that one? That was not just the two of us.
Nothing in Common. No, that was the movie.
No.
That was with Jackie Gleason. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an old one.
That was an old one. Sorry. But Money Pit is another movie that was great with yes. I can't think of it. People are probably shouting at their screen or at the radio right now because they know exactly what it is. Yeah. But they dressed as women. They were the roommates.
Yes.
That was the TV show he was on.
Yes, it was. I can't remember, but yes, Lisa will know.
Yeah. Anyway,
and speaking of which, I have to get to Lisa, so we're going to have to cut it short.
Where is she?
Sorry.
Is she at the hospital? Waiting for your MRI?
Are you at the hospital? No,
she's breaking glasses.
We know
in
the
fireplace.
MRI results, sadly. Yeah,
or goodly. You started saying it was a positive thing.
Well,
now you're saying it's sadly.
At it in a positive way. Sadly, I know that I'm going to have to make a choice, and that's really the question: are we going to do surgery or are we not?
Does it? Well, that's a great question. Does it need to be repaired, or could it be naturally?
Doesn't have to. My brother-in-law apparently went 15 years without having his done, but then he got it done, and he was 8 months he was out of just about everything. Yeah.
But after that 8 months, was everything good?
Now he's good. Yeah, now he's great. But I don't know what that means. Does that? Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not going to go with a heavy bench press again since that's how I ripped it.
And you could probably research ways that other people get there faster. Because this type of surgery, let's say a football player who's 35, 40 years old who has it, they're back playing the next year. True.
That's accurate, and fortunately, that's not in my plan.
Oh, come on! If I'm going to be the kicker on your football team, you're going to have to come in and be like, I don't know,
I'm offensive line with my current weight. Yeah.
Well, you're definitely offensive, so that's probably fitting.
Yeah, it is fitting. On that note,
everyone, have a fantastic rest of your week. Dude. John and I will be here again next week, hopefully, if he doesn't, go under the knife and can't podcast.
Yeah.
But, John will be here next week. I'll be here next week. Fingers crossed. In the meantime, head up to PoddiMouths.com. Check out all of our social media links up there, as well as some of our past episodes. And the merch store is up there. So don't be afraid to buy something and support your local PoddiMouths podcast.
Yes.
That's really important to us. Support
like
us.
A human bra.
Like a human. And you can also, every time, if you go up to the website, you can actually get a or sign up for our newsletter, which isn't really a newsletter, but it's a really great reminder that we're posting a podcast.
But
and
you can also
sign
up for.
You can
Lord
sign up
knows
for.
We all need to sign up.
We all need to sign up for more stuff. Read it at least once in a while. You'll have links to the merch store. You have links to the videos. You have links to the past episodes. All that good shit. And you can still buy us a cup of coffee because that link is still up there. And I haven't had any coffee.
I'm dying
months.
for coffee. Yeah,
I would love some coffee.
Dying.
Some coffee. I got to talk to you next episode. We're going to talk to you about my disappointment in Montana coffee roasters.
Uh-oh.
Got a bad bag.
On your to-do list.
Got a bad bag.
Coming
and
up.
On that note, John.
I got a bad bag. That is what we're going to call next podcast.
Nice.
I got a bad bag.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.